Thank you, Tyler. More than 8 million people live in Iowa and Minnesota, the majority of them being white.
Minorities like African Americans, Hispanics, and Asians make up a low percentage of the population, and they can face challenges because of it. KIMT News 3's Stefante Randall is looking into some of those struggles and has more in a special report.
Moving to a community thousands of miles away from my home state of Florida hasn't been easy, but that's what I did to land my first reporter job here at KIMT. It's been challenging, but combine that excitement with being a black minority in the community, I've definitely had to make some adjustments. Tonight, in a Covering Community special report, we're looking at what life is like today for those of us who come from different backgrounds. Jayla Johnson hails from Chicago. She has a passion for styling hair and cosmetology and decided to attend LaJames College in Mason City.
I never thought I was going to actually move to Iowa. I thought I was going to go to a school in Chicago. But like, no, I want to venture off, you know, and it kind of helped me find myself too.
But it was hard for her to adjust to living in a small city.
A small town, from being from a big city, more people, more things to do. And when I came here, there's nothing really to do. Gotta like find stuff to, you know, occupy myself, so that was a struggle.
Although being a minority living in Mason City has not been a walk in the park for Jayla, she says it has been a great learning experience for her.
Well, since I've been here, I've become more understanding of different people. I've encountered different people, different situations, and I had to learn that, you know, some people are not like you, so you have to, you know, be kind of understanding of that.
This map shows the minority populations in Mason City and Forest City. Hispanics make up the greatest in the minority percentages, African Americans over 1%, Asian and Indian under 1%. In Albert Lee and Rochester, the Hispanic, African American, and Asian populations are higher.
Coming to Iowa was completely different.
Dahlia moved from El Paso, Texas to Iowa about 12 years ago with her husband and 3 kids after her husband pursued a job opportunity and decided to make Mason City their home.
I don't feel we have as many opportunities for minorities, but at the same time, I don't feel that we are, I don't want to say rejected, but I don't feel isolated in any way or shape or form in here. But definitely, I think we need to probably be a little more conscientious of the people around us.
While Dahlia and her family have had a positive experience over in North Iowa, she says there is still a disconnect for minorities.
We have experienced nothing but a welcoming from the community, but it has really been a challenge not to feel that you don't have as much connection with the people around you.
But in her role as the Director of Learning Services at North Iowa Area Community College, she says she is grateful to have the opportunity to help connect minority students with the resources they need.
I feel that I am in a position that, if nothing else, I can advise a student on how to further their education. I can advise them as to what opportunities there are in there. A lot of times for students, for minority students particularly, there is lack of information about what resources there are there to help them succeed in college. So through that area in my job, I feel extremely fortunate to be able to contribute a little bit to their success.
And there aren't just racial minorities who struggle in North Iowa.
We have had some incidents when we started the PFLAG chapter back in 2004. We had some threats from KKK people down in Charles City.
Dean Ginth is a LGBTQ civil rights advocate and was the first gay male to get married in the state of Iowa. He says city officials and law enforcement have done a good job in bringing the community together.
I think that, you know, they do a great job for us every day, looking out for our welfare and our well-being, and I think it's going to be a challenge, and I think they're up to the task, but I just call on them too to help us be watchful and to hopefully offer leadership and put the face of the community out there that religious or racial intolerance or minority intolerance is not going to be something that's allowed in our town.
Being black in a rural area, it was tough for a short time, but I think, you know, overall, I spoke to the people by my reputation and who I was and what I do.
After being raised in a single-family home, fighting a drug addiction, and being in and out of jail, Regan Banks decided it was time to make some changes in his life. In 2004, he was elected the first African-American mayor of Manley, which was a major accomplishment for him, but not for others.
There was times where I get phone calls, nasty phone calls, when I became mayor, and you know, things they wanted me to do and I couldn't do. Name calling was coming out by the N-word.
During that time, Regan didn't see many other African Americans in leadership roles in his part of Iowa, and that was a struggle for him.
It was difficult becoming ahead of something, being in charge, being black, because we all see that more minorities are set back in the back when it comes to be in charge. Caucasian, white, they're mostly in charge if you see them on city councils or in elections.
But he credits all of his accomplishments to retired Judge Michael S. Walsh, who helped Regan get his rights back after facing prison time.
To me, he's just a person you can rely on, a person who is responsible, a person who used his skills and abilities to help others. I really never really given a thought about whether race had anything to do with it or not. In his mind, I don't think it did. I think he's just a human being that wanted to help other human beings and do something for himself.
As for Regan, he says the nation has made strides to make things better for minorities.
I think we came a long, long ways, but I think we still have to pray overall is where we're at today, that it doesn't return back to where it was.
For more information on opportunities and resources available for minorities throughout North Iowa and Southern Minnesota, check out this story on our website, KIMT.com.